video. As is probably apparent, I don't really have any idea what I'm doing, even though I have watched ASMR videos for a long time. I have lots of ideas. However, this is quite a spontaneous video. I intended it to be all set up in my office, spare bedroom. Instead, I'm just on the sofa. I do have my Blue Yeti, which is sort of out of shot, and I've got a ring light behind the camera, but it's not on. The ring light was a bit harsh, and I sort of like the a warmer look for the ASMR videos. The Blue Yeti, I always thought was binaural. But apparently, that's a big lie. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what Google just told me when I tried to figure it out. Or Google AI. This is a notebook by a company called Scribble and Dot. During COVID, I got a little addicted to buying notebooks. What I tended to do was, I don't know if you've heard of bullet journaling, but I was into bullet journaling. And I would tend to buy the notebook because it looked so nice. I would write on one page and then decide that I'd done it wrong and buy another one. And then I realised I'd got a problem. I eventually tried to sort of abandon the physical notebooks because they're not cheap, and then just do it on my iPad instead. One thing I'm sort of very aware of at the minute is how do ASMR artists breathe. I feel like I'm dying to take a giant gasp of breath. As if hopefully I don't fall unconscious. I was live on camera, but I'm obviously not live, am I? Not that I'm aware of. This is an Apple Pencil. That has been chewed by my dog. He's a very good dog. He's never, like when I got him, not long before, I'd got a new dining table that was, it's like a nice one. One of the more expensive things I bought for the house, that and the rug that I got when I first moved in. Both of which, when I was getting the dog, I was like, you just have to accept these are probably going to get ruined. He's going to chew the table. is, as you can probably guess, a relic of the Bujo era, the bullet journal era. That might be a bit rough sounding, apologies. Yorkshire pudding ASMR. Yorkshire pudding ASMR. I don't know whether or not this will be flipped or not. That looks silly if it is, so apologies. So this is my channel name. Yorkshire pudding ASMR. As you can probably guess, I am from Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire, which is in the UK, and I am a bit of a pudding, and this is an ASMR channel, alas. When I grew up, I was very broad, as in my accent was very broad accent. And it wasn't until I went to uni that I discovered that it was broad. It probably remained broad even at uni, but it diluted a little bit because of all of the other accents. In my first year flat there were Southerners, there were Midlanders, there were other Yorkshiremen. But then work and travelling the world and being best friends with Southerners has diluted it over time. But I'm still quite broad, I believe, just not as broad as before. So when you're thinking of making a YouTube channel where you basically talk or whisper, your accent, in this case my Yorkshire accent, is potentially going to be an issue. Hopefully not. But I thought I'd just sort of make it. accent as right now, basically. So if I was to talk normal, I'd say I'm probably diluting my accent as we speak. Sorry about that. I'll move on in a second, but one more thing about the accent. It's happened more than once at work. He's a multi-poo. He's a very good dog. I love him to bits. The first take of this video, he made a little cameo and came and sniffed everything I was using. I don't know if I mentioned already, but I had an unfortunate stomach or throat esophagus sound that I don't think would have made the most relaxing ASMR, so I abandoned. So anyway, I live with Teddy. It's just me and our Teddy. Me and our Teddy. There's no other half. There's just our Teddy and me. first couple of videos. I personally love lo-fi videos, which I suppose this is quite lo-fi, but it's using a plug-in